what's up, guys? Welcome to our Bowl Cereal podcast. My name is Diana.
My name is Jesus.
My name is Brian.
My name is Destiny.
And
Okay.
today we're going to talk about the Black Dahlia case.
Have you guys heard about it before?
Yeah, I seen it on an episode of American Horror Story.
Interesting. How was it?
It was not.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the other day, and I was trying to look for it, but couldn't find it on Netflix or HBO Max or anything. So
Dude, it's literally on Netflix.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I think.
Okay.
It's the
Well,
first
I'll-
season, Murder House. It's literally just an episode, but it's like a clip of her for like
Anyways.
2 minutes.
Okay.
I've heard that this case is kind of like gory and stuff, which is,
A warning.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Destiny introducing basically the background of the murder and all the details behind it.
Wait. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I can say all these words. Here's the background. So, around 10 a.m. on January 15th, 1947, Betty Bersinger was taking her 3-year-old daughter, Anne, on a morning errand to the shoe repair store near what's now the Crenshaw neighborhood of Los Angeles. As they passed, wait, first of all, Crenshaw.
That's Spencer James.
What was he doing here, first of all?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, continuing on. As they passed an empty lot on Norden? I'm gonna go with Norden Avenue, Bersinger recalls, I glanced to my right and saw this very dead, white body. My goodness, it was so white. Okay,
Kind of like a mannequin.
Interesting.
it's kind of...
The fact that
NordVPN.
she's like it's so white.
It's just really white. Let me just make that clear. Very white.
White as this paper.
What is that paper? Maybe even whiter.
She says it didn't look like anything more than perhaps an artificial model. It was so white and separated in the middle. Talking about her dead body.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, now I wonder, was it symmetrically, actually...
Yeah, it was. Like straight.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's straight, but I'm saying,
Super
Like
symmetrical.
measurement straight,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
like ruler straight.
It was.
But it wouldn't make
Was
sense
it
because
ridge?
I think symmetrically would work this way, not that way. You know what I'm saying?
Like with-
Symmetry,
for example-
anything can be symmetrical.
No, not really.
No.
Not when it comes to a
A
body.
body.
Because if they come in through right here, it's symmetrical. But if they come in right here,
It's symmetrical.
No,
no,
the
because
top
then
part and the
there's
bottom
no
part.
there's no other arm.
There's no arm, just your legs.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no head. There's no head.
I
Actually,
don't
there's
know
two
what he's
heads.
saying.
Alright, I apologize.
Okay, continuing on. The body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short was lying face up and naked, her body split in half at the waist. She was oddly posed with her eyes open, hands above her head with elbows bent, and legs straight out and spread apart.
Thank you for demonstrating this.
So she's all like,
On some weird stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes open. Interesting. I mean, I guess
That's
a lot-
scary.
That's so
Yeah,
scary.
it is
Imagine
scary.
It's just not
you're
like,
walking to repair your shoes and you just glance over and there's this.
like just,
Okay. Well, she's gonna mention that later, and we'll talk about it more. But
so she had been hit over the head and pieces of her flesh had been cut out. At the corners of her mouth, there were 3-inch long slits. As gory as the scene was, there was no blood. It appeared the body had been drained and scrubbed before being placed where it was found.
as to why she's white, does.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what
They
she's
said
like.
it 3 times. Like a white body. My goodness, it was so white. It was so white and separate. 3 times.
3 times. It's crazy.
So don't like.
Okay. Betty Bersinger went to a nearby home and called the police to report the body. Bersinger then continued her errand.
NPC right there.
NPC activities.
That was just her side quest. Her main quest was repairing her shoes.
She said
if you see a body, please
I
report
think
it. Don't just walk by.
Well, she did report it.
Yeah.
But I feel like after
Cut
that,
that
I
out.
would have to go home and think about my
Think
life.
about my life,
That's
yeah.
why she's an NPC. She doesn't feel emotions.
Well, yeah, exactly. At least be worried about it. At least
That's
in
her
that
third
minute.
body this week she's seen.
It could be, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. After identifying the body by its fingerprints, with help from the FBI, the LAPD began circulating a flyer in the hopes of getting more information. It described Short as 5 foot 6 inches, 118 pounds, black hair, green eyes, very attractive, bad lower teeth, fingernails chewed too quick.
By the way, this is a picture of Elizabeth right here somewhere.
She's over
When
here.
no, that's basically Elizabeth. We're still recording.
Alright, so yeah, 5'6", right?
5'6".
Interesting.
She's tall.
She's Diana's height, for reference.
I'm not gonna stand up, by the way.
I know. I think you're 5'6", right?
I want to say I'm 5'5", but
Okay.
You are not 5'5". You're tall.
no, I'm
Yeah,
short.
you're tall, bro.
I'm
Well,
really short.
I'm sure.
Ryan's 6 foot. According
No,
to Max
no,
Preps.
Oh yeah, let's insert that here. According to Max Preps, Brian is 6 foot.
You can edit your own height, by the way.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird
But
because
to be fair, I
it
did not
realistically-
have an account.
but
I don't even have an
realistically,
account. I
homie
have-
is
I don't have
5'10".
a-
5'10". Homie
Oh,
is
yeah.
5'10".
We'll round it up to 5'11".
And then you
But
have to
don't
round
worry,
5'11"
he's
to
6 foot.
He's 6 foot on Max Preps,
Like,
guys.
see, like you have to round 5'10" to 11, but then 11 is an awkward number, so then you have to round it to 6.
Yeah, because you gotta carry the
To
1.
6 what?
Yeah, because 6 foot is just 6 foot, so you gotta round it to 6.
Yeah, you gotta carry the 1.
That's 1, 2, 3 inches taller than what you are.
Quick
Exactly.
maths.
It's gotta.
You counting your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts, low key. Okay,
Moving on.
proceed.
Eventually, more information about the women began to emerge. Originally from Medford, Massachusetts, Elizabeth Short moved to Hollywood, some say in hopes of stardom. Like many actresses, she had worked as a waitress and a cashier and had dealt with periods of unemployment as she struggled to get minor acting roles.
It's crazy how, like, famous people and stuff like that.
Like the things they
I
would
mean,
do, like
yeah.
just to be like famous.
Exactly.
She moved
Yeah.
all the way from Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm
Dude,
kind
that's
of
Hollywood.
It's that
I wanna
struggle.
And Hollywood's not even that great.
I
It's
feel
not-
like
it's
LA's
not.
mid now.
Yeah, like-
yeah.
But
I agree.
everybody from different states see us like that's the best place you could be
No,
at.
I'm moving to Miami.
I'm going to.
Miami, that's
Miami
even worse.
No, it's bad out
That's
there
like,
in Orlando.
but that's like a party state.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very much Diana.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
We're going to Tampa,
No, Miami.
Miami?
South Beach.
Oh my goodness.
the rich party people.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes, Miami.
Good luck with that lifestyle.
You're going to Boston.
That's where sophisticated people go.
I've been there already, so that's my spot.
We've seen from Ginny and Georgia, those rich people.
I don't like Ginny Jordan.
You
Proceed.
watched it.
Well, yeah, but.
I
Back
watched
to
Alright,
the thing.
back.
It was common at the time for newspapers to bestow nicknames on murder cases. The papers called her the Black Dahlia, due to reports that she often wore sleek black clothing and had striking dyed black hair. The autopsy on her body provided a chilling glimpse into Short's final moments. Officially, Short died of hemorrhage and shock. Marks on her legs, wrist, neck, and right thigh suggested she had been bound and tortured.
Ouch. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Why was
Why?
she tortured? What did she do?
Like
Yeah,
how?
killers
Like
don't
honestly,
have
how do you
reasons,
be?
though.
How are you with that
But-
person? Like you're torturing them. You know, all you hear
random-
is like their pain and like
A random person.
how do you continue to do it?
It's not even someone like.
That's
I would
why.
assume.
That's why killers. When you see those videos of like the into the mind of a killer,
Mhm.
they don't show remorse.
Right, they-
Sometimes they do, but it's like
I
Like,
feel like
for
it's-
example, Charles
you know?
Manson, he started like laughing and on this weird stuff like Joker, and then
Yeah.
he also said that he regretted not killing more people. So and he didn't even
I feel
do
like
it.
you have to be sick.
Yeah.
He sent people to go do the killing for him. So it's even like some mastermind type stuff.
I just don't get how you continue when you hear like their pains and how they're
Yeah.
screaming like,
maybe that's.
Right.
oh, like I don't know.
Especially when it's
Okay,
people
hold
you
on.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's like random people.
The slits on her corners of her mouth were made while she was still alive.
Mm.
She also suffered a concussion from blows to her head. Reports say that the cuts were clean, raising suspicion early on that someone with surgical skills may have been responsible.
Okay.
So
Go.
back to Joker and like the smile and whatever, that you could correlate that with the 3-inch long.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they like find it admiring and like, oh
Yeah,
wow.
or like they go into debt about it.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So, the third and final suspect is well known to even those casually familiar with the case, Dr. George Hodel. Many who worked on the case over the years believe they interacted with the real killer at some point. Perhaps no one feels stronger than Steve Hodel, retiring as an LAPD homicide detective. Having worked on over 300 murder cases, Steve Hodel published his research, claiming the murderer was one George Hordell, the detective's own father.
Wow.
Dang. His
Wow.
own dad.
Like, how do you say, like, maybe my dad killed her.
He's like, I just can't imagine him. He's like connecting the pieces in his head. And then he's like,
Like that,
My dad.
yeah, that moment of like
Yeah.
realizing
Realization,
that
he's
it
just
could
like,
have been
it's
his
my
dad.
father.
That's just tough. It's like
That's what I imagine.
Star Wars stuff.
Especially because he learned. I would assume that they're both detectives, right?
Yeah.
I would assume he learned stuff from his own dad
Yeah, that's crazy.
when it comes to detective stuff. So now he uses that against him, which is even more.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. George Odell was a wealthy doctor in Los Angeles, described as well-connected, dashing man with a high IQ. That's what you need.
I know. Though.
I mean, he was a murderer though, so.
George was in charge of a real disease clinic in LA, which supposedly gave him knowledge of the sexual lives of people ranging from local sex workers to the city's elite. While George wasn't a practicing surgeon, he was reported to have breezed through medical school, where he studied to be one.
Boom.
See, so like you can already make connections. Like he was a
Right.
doctor. He knew about people's lives and stuff and their personal life. So yeah, I feel like this makes him like a pretty big,
Suspect.
Suspect.
Yeah, the main person. I would
Stalker.
assume. Okay.
So, after George Hodell's death, his son Steve found 2 photos of a woman who Steve believed to be Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia.
If I can find the pictures, I'll put them here.
He began investigating, coming to believe that his own father had a romantic relationship with Short, and that they had been spotted together at a hotel in downtown Los Angeles.
So
Then that got caught slipping.
so yeah, connection. They know each other at least.
Yes.
For sure. They at least know each other.
Yeah.
So
They
something
had
bad-
they had some kind of history.
something went bad in the hotel.
Yeah.
Something-
Something.
Maybe someone didn't give in the way they thought they would.
So now that we know they know each other, when it comes to the whole torturing part, it's even worse because
Maybe he gets like, you know.
he gets
A little excited
a
over
bit
it.
aroused when it comes to that, and then it's already too late, and he has to kill that person, and yeah.
That's true. George Hodell would have had the medical training needed to produce the surgical mutilation performed on Short's body, and that is only the beginning. Steve has suggested that George is also responsible for the murder of Jean French, which occurred a mere 3 weeks after Short's on February 10th. That doesn't make sense.
So maybe he's on a killing spree.
In 1950s, a few years after the Black Dahlia murder, George Hodell moved or perhaps fled to the Philippines. Perhaps not so coincidentally, a woman murdered in Manila in 1967 reported was also found bisected and posed in an empty lot, just like the Black Dahlia.
So they're all just
So
left
he
in
moved.
lots.
Yeah, he fled to the Philippines, and then coincidentally, super nearby where he lived, another girl was found the exact same way.
It had to be that person.
That's
I don't
him.
think, I don't think there's any other person, or it's just
Like
A
how
big
would he
Yeah.
move and then the same thing
I feel like
happened in that place?
they moved
Exactly.
away from him, but then he just did that, and I just like
The thing is that
finalized
this
it.
case wasn't solved. I mean, you have to think. I mean, it wasn't that super old, but
They're not
forensics
as-
forensics
yeah,
has
they're-
evolved.
th're not as
I feel
as
like now
advanced
it
as
would
they
have
are
not
then.
been unsolved. It would have
Right.
definitely been solved. There's a lot of missing evidence, so as we know, this case is unsolved.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously back then they didn't have enough advance, just like as we are now.
Yes.
And I'm assuming even though they know them as a suspect, there's nothing that could really like that evidence that could be like, oh, it was him. Because even if
Yeah.
even if that body was over there in the Philippines, it's also just a coincidence type stuff.
Alright, well, guys, thank you for tuning in to our first episode on this podcast. If you'd like to see more, you always know where you can find it. Here are all the different platforms you can find our podcast on. Also, if you have any questions about this case, we kind of are thinking of doing a follow-up episode with all of your guys' questions. So if you guys are interested,
Just comment.
or
Subscribe.
send it to our Instagram, which is
I think it's
here.
We'll put it in link in the
somewhere
description.
there.
But thank you so much for listening.
Thank you
I hope
guys.
you enjoyed it.
Please like and subscribe.
See you in the next episode.
Yeah.